Welcome back to another MECH 1000 video. In this video I'm going to show you how to use polylines. So polylines are up on the draw toolbar. You may have seen them before and wondered what they were. So we've got lines, polylines, circles. We've made lines before, we've made circles before, we've done arcs. So what's up with polylines? So basically you probably have used a polyline and just didn't realize it. For instance, the rectangle command. When you use the rectangle command to make a rectangle, rather than using 4 individual lines, what you have created is made out of polylines. If I highlight or click on one side of the rectangle, the entire rectangle gets highlighted. That's because this is all one thing. It is a polyline. The prefix poly means many, and so this is many lines, but put together into one object. So let me delete that. And so if I make a rectangle using just lines, and I draw it over some arbitrary distance up, over and down, and I click on just one of the sides, I only highlight that one side. But if I draw it with polylines, go over, up, over, and back down, and I highlight it, it's all one thing. It's just as if I used the rectangle command. That's because polylines allow you to make many lines, as many as you want to, and AutoCAD treats them as though they are all just one item. So you click it and it highlights the whole thing. Now if we wanted to get back to this being just 4 individual lines, we could explode it. The explode command is just under the erase command. So with that rectangle highlighted, I hit explode, and now it's back to being just 4 individual lines. So you may be wondering, okay, so what's the benefit to using polylines? Well, other than the fact that you can draw a multi-sided figure and it will be essentially grouped together as one item that can be highlighted with one single click, the other thing about polylines is you can edit their width. So if I draw, let's see, I'll draw it horizontally. I'll draw a horizontal line here. That's a polyline. My escape button doesn't seem to be working. I can't escape out of this. Hold on a second. Stand by. Okay, we're back. I do seem to be having some technical difficulties with my computer right now, so hopefully they will not persist. So I drew a horizontal line, but it's not just any old line, it's a polyline. And what I can do with a polyline is I can use the polyline edit feature, which on the modified toolbar is found right here. It's the image of a pencil next to a curved line, edit polyline. Or you can type p-edit for polyline edit. Now I am still experiencing significant lag on my computer. Something's going on here, but we'll push through. P-edit. There we go. P-edit brings it up as an option. And so then you can click on the line and it gives you a variety of options, things that you can edit, such as the width. I can edit the width of this line, and maybe I want to make it 0.125, an eighth of an inch wide. And so now this line has an eighth of an inch thickness. It actually shows up an eighth of an inch thick on the screen as I'm working in AutoCAD, and it will also print with that thickness. So that's one thing that you can't do with a regular line. So that's one advantage of using polylines. And you don't have to give it a uniformly consistent thickness either. I can create another polyline, and again use the Polyedit, P-Edit feature. Click on the polyline I want to edit, and I could select Edit Vertex. So a vertex is basically an endpoint. This polyline has two endpoints, the first one and the last one. And so I can edit this to be wide at one end and have it taper down to a point at the other. So I selected Edit Vertex, and now if I select Width, I can make the starting width, let's make it 1/4 of an inch, 0.25. And then the next segment, I'll put in 0. And so what that does is it creates sort of a triangle shape, but this isn't actually a triangle. This is one single polyline. It just begins with the thickness I specified and tapers down to a single point. So that can be used to, you could make little arrowheads using a polyline. So I believe AutoCAD is probably using something similar to this. Oh, and here's another point. This line I drew, I didn't draw it as a polyline. I just drew a regular line. And then I tried to use P-Edit. So what happens when you use P-Edit on just a regular line? AutoCAD tells you, this is not a polyline, but do you want to turn it into a polyline? And you can say, yes, I would like to do that, AutoCAD, thank you. And Edit Vertex. Give it a, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch width at the first segment. Nope, I have to click width first, then type in 1/4 of an inch, and then 0. So as I was saying, AutoCAD probably internally uses something like this to create the arrows that are used for like multi-leaders or dimensions. So if I make a leader here, I'm still experiencing that lag. Okay, so yeah, when you make a multi-leader, this arrowhead that is automatically made by AutoCAD is probably something very similar to a polyline that has been edited to taper down to a point. So I think that's probably about it for polylines. So again, if you draw something with polylines, you can give it as many different segments as you want to. And when you're finished drawing it and you click on it, it highlights as all one thing. So a polyline has many segments. You can edit the width. You can edit by vertex to make it change its width from one vertex to another. And you can make like tapered shapes like triangles. So there we go. Now we know how to make polylines. So now we know lines, polylines, circles, arcs, rectangles, and polygons. Hatch. Really, the only thing left on our draw toolbar that we haven't yet learned is ellipse. And so I'm sure that's going to be coming up here very soon, and then we'll have everything on the main draw toolbar under our tool belt. Okay, so that's it for this video. There are still a few more things in this chapter to go over. I think I'll combine those all into the next video.